Well, even before the war in Ambazonia escalated in 2017, the peoples of Southern Cameroons had long been subjected to arbitrary arrests, subjugated as well, and various forms of intimidation by the colonial regime of La République du Cameroun. These abuses aimed at suppressing dissent and maintaining control over the region, the nation of Amazonia, have only intensified since the outbreak of the conflict. The practice of what is now known as Kali Kali, a term used to describe mass arrest, has become increasingly common over the past years, with more frequent and widespread arbitrary detentions targeting innocent civilians, especially men. Despite the ongoing conflict, these acts of intimidation continue to instill fear, disrupt families, and violate the basic human rights of Southern Cameroons Ambazonians.
Well, earlier this morning, a group of anguished women gathered at the Gendarmerie Legion in Buea, desperately demanding the release of their sons and husbands who were recently rounded up in arbitrary mass arrests across various localities. These women, united in their pain and call for justice, targeted the Colonial Gendarmerie Legion, knowing it oversees other detention centers in the area where their loved ones are being unlawfully held. The women, helpless and overwhelmed by distress, are protesting not only for the release of their family members but also for their safe return. Many fear the worst, given the well-documented brutality of La République du Cameroun soldiers against Ambazonian citizens. The colonial regime's detention centers, notorious for their inhumane conditions, have a dark history of abuse, torture, and even disappearances of detainees. As the women rallied in front of the gendarmerie, their peaceful protest was met with restrictions by the colonial forces. Journalists attempting to document the event were barred from taking photographs or conducting interviews, a clear move to strive for press freedom and prevent the outside world from witnessing the extent of these ongoing injustices. This suppression of media coverage further highlights the repressive tactics employed by the colonial regime to silence opposition and conceal its widespread violations of human rights.
Well, despite the outcry from families and the broader community, local authorities from La République du Cameroun have yet to release any official statement regarding the recent arrest or the current situation. The silence from the colonial administration, notorious for carrying out such unjustifiable operations, only deepens the despair of those affected. Meanwhile, the people of Ambazonia continue to suffer under a colonial regime that uses intimidation and arbitrary detention as tools to suppress their quest for freedom and justice.